Onyx and the Great Green Adventure. Onyx, a cat as black as midnight with a splash of milk on his chest, was a professional worrier. He worried about loud noises, new smells, and especially the fluffy dust bunnies that tumbled under the sofa. His only brave friend in the whole wide world was Squeaky, a tiny toy mouse with a jingle bell heart. With Squeaky, Onyx felt he could face anything, as long as it wasn't too scary. One sunny afternoon, a playful breeze danced through an open window. It tickled the curtains, ruffled Onyx's fur, and it scooped up Squeaky and tossed him out into the great, green, terrifying world. Onyx watched in horror as his friend disappeared from sight. Onyx's heart hammered against his ribs. The outside, it was full of rumbling monsters and giant feet, but Squeaky was out there, all alone. Taking a deep, wobbly breath, Onyx did the bravest thing he had ever done. He jumped. He landed in a jungle of soft grass that tickled his nose. Everything was so big. The flowers were like towers, and the buzzing of a bee sounded like a dragon's roar. "Squeaky?" he whispered. Suddenly, a cheerful voice squeaked from a blade of grass. "Lost something, have you?" A tiny field mouse with bright, curious eyes popped his head out. "I'm Pip." Onyx, startled, jumped back. "A real mouse? My friend, Squeaky," he stammered. Pip twitched his nose. "A toy mouse with a jingle? Saw it. A grumpy squirrel took it up that big oak tree." The path to the tree was guarded by a hissing, spitting water monster. Onyx froze, his fur standing on end. "It's just the sprinkler," laughed Pip. "Wait for it." As the water swung away, Pip shouted, "Now!" Onyx closed his eyes and dashed across the damp grass, his paws barely touching the ground. He made it. He felt a tiny spark of pride. They arrived at the foot of the oak tree. It was like a skyscraper for squirrels. Onyx looked up and up and up. His courage began to wobble. I can't climb that," he whimpered. Who says you can't?" A soft voice hooted from above. A large owl with kind, golden eyes blinked down at them. "I am Luna. A journey of 1,000 paw steps begins with a single claw hold." "You were brave enough to leave your home," Luna said gently. "You were brave enough to face the water. The courage you need is already inside you, little one." Onyx looked at Pip, then up at the bark. He thought of Squeaky. Taking a deep breath, he dug his claws into the trunk and pulled himself up. Pip scampered ahead, showing him the best places to grip. Higher and higher he climbed. The ground seemed to spin below him. A gust of wind made him sway, and for a terrifying second he thought he would fall. Finally, he scrambled onto a thick branch next to a messy nest of twigs and leaves. And there, tucked amongst a pile of acorns, was Squeaky. A grumpy squirrel with a very bushy tail popped his head out of the nest. "Hey, that's my treasure," he chattered, pointing at Squeaky. "He's not a treasure," Onyx said, his voice surprisingly steady. "He's my friend, and I've come to take him home." He puffed out his chest, trying to look much bigger and braver than he felt. The squirrel blinked. With a grumble, he nudged Squeaky with his nose. "Oh, fine." Onyx gently picked up his friend, whose little bell gave a happy jingle. Back in his cozy home, Onyx curled up with Squeaky. The world outside was still big, and sometimes a little scary, but now he knew that he was big and brave enough to face it.